welcome back to this week's edition of Two Coaches, One Grizz. I am your host, Frank Morales, alongside our phenomenal team, the 2C, 1G crew, our coach emeritus, Gil Laura, our resident superfan, Mario the Grizz Mesa, and the one that makes it all work, our super producer, Anthony A.C. Carabata. Gentlemen, how are we doing this today?
Well, sir, I mean, to be honest with you, I wanted to open up and really say how thankful I am, how blessed we are to be here. All of us, I think, at this table, we all have our own situations, our own lives, and God has been good to us. I think that we're blessed, each of us in our own way, and just thankful to be here, to be able to share our thoughts, our ideas, the things that go on with everything that's happening in the sports world, and to share amongst ourselves, to share with our listeners, and hopefully get some feedback on what we're talking about, what we're saying. I'm just very thankful. I thank God for everything that happens to us, and for the reason we're here.
Well said. Well said. Grizz, how we doing, kid?
Another week in the books, another good week, another fun time in the sports world. As always, doing great. As always, Gil, always very eloquent, says it best. I have a few words today. I leave you with the words, bomb pots.
Bomb pots.
Bomb pots and ribeyes. Bomb pots and ribeyes.
Yeah, from what I understand.
And no shows.
Very eventful evening last night, and the weekly poker game. So, hopefully we can get some discussion on that now that the summer's starting. So, should be fun. Now, back to the show.
Not just discussion, participation as well is always important.
That is also true. Heard on that one. All right, back to the show. Listen, we got a jam-packed show today. All right, we got playoffs in multiple sports. All right, we're recapping fights. We got some crazy news out of the football world. Some people getting roughed up. We are going to start, however, with this very, very intriguing matchup in the upcoming NBA Finals. It's about to start here in about half an hour. We got the Boston Celtics facing off against the Dallas Mavericks, right? Boston has had a pretty easy road to the finals, right? Through the Eastern Conference this season. They're expected to win it. It is championship or bust, whereas the Mavericks, right? If we were having this conversation a year ago, we would be talking about Luka being a crybaby, the fit with Kyrie now.
Luka's a crybaby all the time. That doesn't take away from his game and what he can accomplish.
Correct. The fit with Luka not being there, but they have gelled, they have worked, they went into the playoffs as a 6 seed, and we're looking at a potential buzzsaw that the Celtics may be running into here in the finals. So let's kick it off with some spirited discussion, gentlemen. Gil, what are your initial thoughts on the NBA Finals matchup?
Well, first and foremost, Boston has been the best team all year. They've played well. They dominated the East. They showed their mettle in most of the games. They had a couple of games where they faded at the end. They lost Porzingis going into the playoffs, and they were able to overcome that and still, yes, did they have some luck on their side? Yes, some guys got hurt, whatever they can, but that's part of the game. That is part of every game, every sport. The NFL, it's about staying healthy. NBA, it's about staying healthy. The college basketball scene, college football scene, whoever stays healthiest will be the team at the end that has the best shot. Now, with that being said, I do think that Luka and Kyrie, I believe in flat earth Irvings, have found their niche. They play very well together. I think Kyrie has a chip on his shoulder as well as Luka. So, to me, this is going to be a great game, a great match, a great series, a great matchup between two good teams. Again, in my opinion, I believe that the teams that win or the team that wins, it will be about the role players. Is Porzingis going to be able to come back and be quickly a factor? He hasn't played in 3 weeks. Is he going to be a factor that quickly? PJ Washington for Dallas. Again, are the guys that are role players, how and what will they do in order for each of their teams to succeed? To me, that's where the key lies.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great point that you bring up, right? Because what we see historically is that the role players, right, perform better at home. And depending on what side of the matchup you're on, right, that ebb and flow could be detrimental to your ability to win a championship. So, again, to that point, right, the team that has the most consistent output from their role players, right, is going to have, right, that advantage. So, again, interesting to see. It's, two just crazy Goliath matchups in the backcourt. Where we have Jason Tatum, he's shooting 65%.
No, the 2v2 is a great matchup because again, Brown plays great defense. Again, the 2v2 is going to be good. It's about the other guys on the court and what happens with them. Is my thought process. Grizz, talk to me, baby. What's going on? I know Minnesota's out.
He's contemplating.
I know you're still, dealing with that situation, and we're moving on.
Bad matchups, man.
But talk to me. Talk to me about this series.
This series is all about a team that's on a mission. Boston's
and
on a
what
mission.
team is that? Is
Boston's
that Boston?
On a mission.
That's not Dallas. You don't think Luka's on a mission? Talk to me. What do you mean?
I'm trying to explain myself. I think it's very clear. Boston's on a mission. They, for years, have been getting this close. 6 or 7 Eastern Conference Finals, a trip to the NBA Finals. It's time to get over that hump. You're 10, 15 games better than the league. Cakewalk.
And to put some context to that,
I'm going to also say Dallas is on a mission as well.
Individual as players, as Kyrie's got
two specific players indeed are on a mission.
Exactly. That's what.
So we have, what do we have?
What do we have?
We have a whole team, a city.
Horford,
everybody.
Celtics.
Even a Horford. They're all on a mission.
Back to the old days of championship.
Yeah.
Hey, whoa. What's going on here?
Why is Siri trying to chime in?
What happened?
It's on a mission as well.
I see that. It's excited.
But you're talking about a team that didn't even make the play-in game last year with that trade with Kyrie. They were left for dead. Traded to the Lakers.
Sir, I believe they tanked.
I think that was the word, to get rid of Kyrie, bring him back with LeBron. Even LeBron is out here saying on these streets, I'm mad that I'm not part of his running mates.
Listen, they were not even thought about starting this year's run. It was all about Minnesota. It was all about Denver.
Of course.
It was all about
Oklahoma City.
OKC. It was
even
all about
the Clippers.
It was about everybody else but them. They were an afterthought.
They just scraped by and avoided the play-in game. They are the 6th seed.
They were the 5. They were the 5. They were 5. But again, but even as a 5th, they were not even mentioned.
But it was like a half game, right? Like
doesn't matter.
Whatever.
Yeah.
They were not even talked about. They were overlooked.
You could be in or out.
They were overlooked.
Here's the thing. In my heart of hearts, I will be pushing and pulling for the Mavericks because I do not
for the flat earth. You're gonna go for the flat earther?
Yeah, because flat earther can ball.
Yes, he can.
Apparently, doesn't believe the earth is a sphere, but
wrong.
the sphere he dribbles, he's amazing.
He can play so well with
amazing. And Luka is about to tell the world, "I'm the best in the world."
Kyrie has finally shut up and played ball.
However,
Coach, I think it's more so he's showing maturity for the first time in his life. Listen, right? On the court, right?
Again, I am going to defer to what I said a few weeks ago. And I do believe that it's who he's playing with. He's on a team where Luka Doncic is a star player, has been a star player, but goes about his business quietly. He's not someone that talks about it. Does he cry and whine for the 48 minutes of a basketball game?
Up and down the court.
Oh, my God. He is the king of the whiners. However, when it comes down to it, he doesn't ask for attention. He doesn't cry on the paper. He is about winning and playing.
He's about buckets.
That's it.
And the thing with Kyrie being able to mesh well with him, I believe they've done 4 30-point games together as teammates. I think just as much as they've had in the last 25 years. They're a perfect mesh. But I was trying to say, however, the Celtics are just too overwhelming.
Too much.
With like you said, role players. Take those 2 stars from each team out. The role players on the Celtics are by far better. Now, Porzingis is a key. I think even without Porzingis, they win. But Yeah, man. It's
He's
just
the
gonna
X
be,
factor.
You're going to need P.J. Washington to have
what I'm
an
saying.
amazing series.
Again.
You're going to need the likes of, which one is it?
They have
Lively.
they have a two-headed center situation which combined for over 35 minutes a game.
Yeah.
Lively and I'm blanking on the other one. Yeah. But they're
because there's a problem with that team. You only know the two guys.
Right.
Everybody else is.
I know
Tim Hardaway Jr. is on that team. Can he make a couple plays?
They have a perfect situation there because they are so similar in their games. Those two centers, like you don't even know which one's in and which one's out. Right, like it was funny because the other shows and media outlets they were talking about, they combine for 38 minutes a game or something like that, and there is no drop off or change in the performance or the flow of the team because they're just that equal to each other, that
again,
similar.
My biggest concern with Boston is that Jason Tatum disappears sometimes.
That's the problem.
Jason Tatum all of a sudden, whoop, poof. He's
But he disappears in games that he still ends up with like 28.
Correct.
And it's just the thing about him is people just want him to dominate to another level.
No, but it's not
and he's
about
had a 50-point game 7. It's just he needs to look. Bottom line is, do you believe in this 7-game series there's going to be enough times where Dallas's best 2 outshine Boston's best 2, right? Probably you could say 4, maybe 5 of the games if it goes to 7. But the role players will probably be those benefiting factors in the home games, like you said, because they got the 4 games at home. You're going to see Horford's going to knock down 5 threes in one game. You're going to see Derek White's going to have about 6 threes in another game.
That was the guy that I was going to bring up. Did we forget about
Drew Holiday too? I totally forgot about Drew Holiday, a guy that's money. I just think, I hate to say it, Boston in 6.
Boston in 6. That's the play, guys. That is the play. He's been pushing Boston in 6 for about 3 nights now. Don't be fooled. Don't be fooled.
6. So if Dallas wins it, it's in 6.
No.
It's going 6.
Again, my contention is you got 2 guys that are really playing with a chip on their shoulders. They're veterans. They've both been there. They've been down the road. And that's what I said during last series. That is why I like them to win that series. That's why I like them to make this series extremely intense and interesting.
Well, Coach, you say that, right? And you're speaking about the Mavericks, right? You're talking about Kyrie. You're talking about Luka.
And how many?
But we're
Coach, I'm not saying Dallas wins it, but I think they push them to the brink. I think it'll be a 7-game. I think it's going to be a very close series. I really believe that the way they match up and these 2 guys playing ball, I think they're going to take them to 7.
So you mentioned,
just take them 7. Boston in 7.
I mean, I think Boston wins in 7, but it's anything. The problem is that a game 7 anyone can win.
That's fair.
Is my
it's a very
contention.
safe pick too, but it's fair.
That's my contention.
Here's
just like me.
Here's the
anybody in 6.
Here's the paradox of what you're talking about, right? You're not wrong, right? You have 2 veteran players, right, that have proven themselves in the playoffs, right? Kyrie's got a ring. Luka's taken the team on his back by himself to the conference finals. But we're failing to forget that on the other side, the Boston Celtics in Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, for that matter, they've been to what? 5 Eastern Conference Finals, two finals appearances before this one. So much so that Jason Tatum is top 2 or 3 in Celtics history when it comes to points and playoff stats. And we don't talk about it. And we don't talk about it enough because what is he missing? The banner in the arena, the ring on the finger, right? So you talk about the veterans on the other side, but Jason Tatum's been there. He's lost 2 finals. He's been to 7 or 5 or whatever it is.
The problem for me is that Kyrie's ring is a little tainted.
Oh God, here we go.
It's a little tainted. It's got a little taint on it. It's got a little LeBron taint.
What kind of taint are we talking about?
It's got a little LeBron taint.
Okay, but
it ain't him. It wasn't him. It was LeBron.
Sir, the one who knocked down the 3 to seal the win in Game 7 was Kyrie Irving.
I hear you. Just like Ray Allen won the game. Ray Allen hit the 3 from the corner for the Heat. However, he's not the guy. So again,
yes, I see what you're saying.
To me, this is more his team and Luka's team than it was his and LeBron's. So this championship, in my opinion, this opportunity at a championship means more to him, especially now, than ever before. And he's playing a Boston team that he went over there and
got booed.
shot the bed.
Got booed.
Shot the bed. He poo-pooed. He sucked.
He embraces the Robin role more than ever now. And he knows he could be Batman whenever he needs to be called on. That's it. It's very simple.
Luka doesn't mind sharing that role when he needs to. Luka will hit and he'll pass it. Again, it's a very open relationship.
They don't,
I like Will Smith. It's a very open relationship. He's a very open relationship.
He's sort of like the Joker. They are very laid back and they don't care about the stardom.
Who gets the glamour? They share and share alike, and no slaps, mind you, no slaps. They're openly happy about where they're at.
Yes,
like I said, I just think it's gonna be a very interesting series. I think there's a lot of undertones.
Correct.
That people may overlook. And I just think Dallas, correct. And I think Dallas really has a good chance to make a run at things and make things super interesting.
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, we're going to do a little quick breaking news because I don't see it here in our rundown. But since we're talking NBA real quick, can I just say today we had a Woj bomb?
But we don't know yet. That's still up in the air.
But it's up in the air. But we need to talk about it because by the time we come back next time,
it's up in the air. We'll see.
By the time we come back next time, I think it's going to be something we're going to be leading off.
You think so?
Correct.
You think that'll be Hurley and not JJ?
Just be honest. Who would you rather have? Just be honest. You want the newfound guy that has a podcast with LeBron that I love his basketball mind, or do you want the guy that's won back-to-back titles? Comes from a coaching tree family, is a savant at coaching.
It's not who I want.
I think you'd be a coach and follow the rules.
It's not who I want. It's not who I want.
Early.
Again, it's not who I want because I really can't stand the Lakers. I never liked them anyways.
Yeah, I know.
Even back in the days. I'm not a Lakers guy.
They were fun to watch. I think it's a little bit more deep. But you don't like the fact that they might be drafting someone.
No, but then again, you check that off and put, we're going to pick up Bronny. That sucks. Who's never played anything. He sucked on his own college team.
And like I said, it's going to be drafted with or without Hurley or Redick. So I'd rather have Hurley teach him. I
mean, Coach, on that point, man, I mean, if they do draft him, which it's probably looking like they will.
Then he gets traded to some other team, and we're good. Then Hurley just builds his team.
It's a 55th pick in the second round. Yeah. You know, those type of picks happen all the time, especially late in the draft.
However, there will be pressure.
If the guy gets picked 54th by someone else and holds a ransom?
That'd be great.
Okay,
that'd be great.
But listen, time out.
I need your 2 number ones.
I hope they will pick him up at 50.
2 number ones.
I hope it was a 50.
Or trade LeBron.
So really hold him like,
trade LeBron to the Wizards.
Time out. To kind of wrap that thought up. It's getting unnecessary publicity because it's LeBron James' son.
Of course, and that's what he wants, and that's what LeBron wants.
But let's call it what it is.
I think it's fine. I think that should happen.
Yeah,
I want history to happen.
Right.
I want father and son to play 1 year.
In a vacuum, if Giannis Antetokounmpo's brother can sit on the bench.
No, not 1, 2 brothers.
Both brothers can be glorified seat warmers.
Bronny's better than both those guys for sure.
In the league, that kid can sit on the bench for 10 years.
All 3 of them cannot fight their way out of a wet paper bag.
Okay, but
all of us
suck.
But if all of us could play with your son in a professional sports league, we'd all do it.
But it's the same concept.
We'd all do it,
right? Even
if my son gets dunked on by every player he's going to play the whole year, I'm still doing it.
And to Grizz's point, if those guys can be in the league, Bronny's better than both of them.
That's not true. Bronny was not as bad. Okay, I think Ronnie's just as bad as both of them. Okay. Again, we're talking about it.
Semantics.
We're talking. No, he's not better. He's just as bad. Okay, which makes him right there. He played in a USC team that was mediocre at best and could not be a starter.
But coach, the guy had a heart attack.
You gonna blame the heart attack on it?
Yeah.
Are you really? That's your cope. That's your cop out.
I mean,
that's your cop out.
When
it happens right before the season starts, it's kind of hard to get into the rotation.
Right, so the vaccine affected him, right? That's what we're talking about.
Apparently, this kid doesn't have the
come on, give me a break, bro.
Where do we get vaccine from?
Get this guy innocent. That guy was a duck.
We're flying off the rails right now.
Guy is a duck. And you're going to talk about that guy.
Very hopeful.
Listen, you wanted to go down the rabbit hole. Let's go, baby.
This guy went from
evangelist. That guy got a heart attack. Oh no! And the guy sucks.
This guy's gone from evangelist to the Grim Reaper. What's going on here?
I could be an evangelist and still be a Grim Reaper. Death is death.
I'm not gonna lie. I love this girl.
Okay.
Oh, I love it too.
Again,
I'm gonna find other irrelevant people that don't know how to play the game.
Let's throw it out
upgrade them into a
second round draft choice.
All right.
Guys are done. We're going to make him a second draft. Right. Not a free agent.
Lakers don't need a second round.
We're going to bring him in as a free agent. Okay, God, he's a walk-on.
Come on.
You know what? He's a preferred walk-on. I can take that.
Jesus.
But ese tipo es un muerto. I have a father. He's a dead guy walking.
That's dead for them.
But we're going to put him in there so LeBron can be happy for 1 year when the star of the team is AD and he can't even play 82 games.
So back to the coach Hurley, the whole point. What if they don't draft him? You never know. Maybe he actually comes here with some gusto. Hey, I'm Hurley. I don't listen to you,
How much is LeBron going to listen to Hurley?
But Hurley's a college
guy.
LeBron's technically not a Laker currently.
Hurley is a college guy. Why am I going to listen to that guy? That guy's a college guy. What can he teach me?
All I know is if tomorrow they talk and he gets offered over 9 figures, bye, UConn.
No. Listen, there's no doubt Hurley will take the job. No doubt.
Right.
But again, as long as LeBron is there, he will be handcuffed. He will be hemmed.
LeBron likes to be coached a little bit.
No, he does. That guy wants to draw shit up.
He respects the game.
He wants to do his own thing. Not anymore.
Respects the game.
Not anymore. He does his own thing.
The man's forgotten more basketball than we'll ever know.
What are you talking about? That guy hasn't known any basketball. Give me the clipboard. He's just a great athlete. Give me the clipboard. I'll draw it up for you. This is what we're running.
We're officially in anarchy right now. All right. My job's to pull this back in and kind of moderate the situation. All right, yeah, make sure that we're flowing in the right direction.
Like, why don't let's talk about the ice stuff?
Exactly. It's super white hot right now.
Thank you. Let's go to a better sport.
We're gonna hard segue into what's happening on the ice right now and the other finals matchup that we have. Hometown team Florida Panthers against the Edmonton Oilers. It's
the farthest of all time.
The farthest matchup in Stanley Cup history. It is almost 3,000 miles.
From one point to the other.
4 time zones, I believe. And to the point where they're doing, it's going to be 3 days in between games. Is that what's going on? Or 3 days in between the travel from one
city to the other? The travel will be 1 day and then they'll have 2 days rest and then they play.
Because, let's call it what it is, fellas. I mean, we've all been on trips here. Jet lag's a real thing, especially that back and forth.
We've all been on trips, but I don't think any of us have gone to Edmonton.
No, sir.
The beauty is it's only, they got 3 days between the games, and they have gone to Edmonton a few times, so they understand.
Yeah, but it's one thing to, make a stop on the way to Vancouver or, your next game, and that's in between.
It's 2 flights. That's all it is.
Yeah, 2 flights. After playing probably, aside from football, the second most physical sport.
Absolutely.
It's like...
Well, they're only on the ice for like 2 minutes a shift. 2:20, 2:30. I mean...
I just find the distance fun. I doubt it's going to have any effect in this series.
No.
I disagree.
And our boy Kachuk
I think the jet lag's
from Calgary. He knows all about the Canadians.
Kachuk went to high school in St. Louis, bro.
I've been playing.
But he played at Calgary.
I apologize.
Season, sir.
I apologize.
You digress.
He knows about that area.
Heard.
Bottom line is, I don't think it's going to mean as much because, like I said, they have a lot of days spaced out in these finals. They extend it. They give you max rest. They've already been resting about a week. This is going to come down to an amazing series.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing
Fireworks.
series.
Offense versus defense.
Bro,
this is
the muck it up
offense
team
over defense.
against 8. I've been saying it. I'm a big fan of Edmonton. Canadian team.
You wanted the Canadian teams in the finals. You got it.
Team
you got it. You got it. You got it. You got it.
When was the last Canadian
we still don't
team
want
to
them. I don't want them to win.
Exactly. They're
I
not
don't
going
give
to
a
win.
rat's behind.
I
don't want them to win.
I'm all about the Cats, bro. But I'm just saying it's a good story.
No, you did. No, listen. We have the best hockey player on the ice.
The representation of our neighbors is very important.
Who has the best?
Edmonton has the best hockey player on the ice.
Just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, okay. David is the man.
He is the best player,
deny, but
pound for pound, on the ice in the NHL.
Team. This is another classic.
Correct.
This is sort of like the Luka.
I think our goalie is going to make a big difference. I think we're going to be there to be able to really... Our defense, I think, will be the difference. Their goalie is nowhere near what Bobrovsky is. I like that. I like our defenders. I like how physical we are. They do live and die on scoring. So I like the Panthers in 5, maybe 6 at the most.
Well, if we go 5, it's only one trip to Edmonton.
There you go.
No jet lag at all.
So here's my right. Like I always trying to kind of look for the connections here between the finals games, and you have the Connor McDavid situation is akin to Jason Tatum, right? Like he's got the stats, he has played, super experienced, but the championship is eluding him, and to validate his career, he really needs this. So it's going to be interesting to see. He's going to show up.
But the problem is a team is
Do
not...
the others.
We have a storyline where the coach of our team has probably, I think, the most wins without a cup. So it's...
And I like that guy.
Validation.
Let me tell you, I like that guy.
Oh,
I love that guy. Have you guys listened to that guy in a press conference?
That's a coach's coach, right?
Have you listened to that guy in a press conference? Did you hear him talk about the fight between Kachuk and Pasternak?
Is he a Canuck? Like, is he Canadian?
I don't even know what the hell he is. I mean, I'm sure he is. With a name like Paul Maurice, I figure he is. But let me tell you, that guy was like, yeah, that's called hockey. And if you have a problem with that, then you have a problem. Don't talk to me about it.
There you go.
I love that. I'm telling you, that guy for me is the epitome of a coach. When the stuff started getting tough with the Rangers, he called them in. He gave him a tongue lashing right there on the ice, and all of a sudden we went out. He scored a goal, and here we go. Again, I think he is a really, really good coach. I think he does a good job. Like I said, I like us in 6.
So you like it in 6?
I like him in 6.
I like us in 7.
That's where I was going.
Slobber knocker of a series.
I don't think Edmonton could get to 7.
I hope you're right. 6, I'm happy with, but
we
are an amazing road team, so I can see us finishing off on the road.
I'll just cautionary tale right now.
And that's not me getting carried away and saying gentlemen sweep 4-1.
Correct.
5 games. So I'm giving them 6.
Listen, hockey's fun. You could have 4 amazing games and we could sweep them.
Right.
It's if you have a puck here, a puck there. It's just how it goes.
A puck here, puck there. I like that.
I'm on
puck everywhere.
I'm on Grizz's side here. I think it's going to be a 7-game, knockout, drag out series.
All right, guys, you heard it. You heard it. The guy likes it in the 6. Take 5 or 7. Don't go to 6.
I said 7.
He said 7. I'm sorry. So take 6 or less.
So again, continue on.
He's
my
the
point.
next guy. Go ahead.
Just a cautionary tale, right? So that not to get back into that pattern, right? Because this is the team that they can actually get in trouble with. They shots on goal. In the last series, they doubled up what the Rangers did, but right, what counts is if it goes in, right, and that's like one of the worst stats to look at after a hockey game. Yeah. You doubled or tripled the shots on goal, but you have everything except the win. So cautionary tale on that because the Oilers are very efficient.
At the Oilers,
they're an efficient offensive
team. When
team.
You take a look at their goalie and compare them to both goalies of the Rangers, there is no comparison. The goalie for Edmonton is nowhere near those two guys. The Rangers goalies were head and shoulders above the guy from Edmonton. That's why I think our goals will go in. I think our defense will prevail. And I think, like I said, we are the better team defensively, and that will create offense. Whereas Edmonton brings everybody in, goes crazy to shoot, and if they get it, yes, you're right. They make their goal. But our goalie and our defense, I think, is just much better than what Edmonton has to offer.
Understood. Listen, I'm going for the Panthers, right? Lived here pretty much most of my conscious life. So on to that point, Florida, the Panthers bring home the Stanley Cup, right? And even they do, how do you think that changes the landscape in terms of, popularity, right? The explosion, the growth of the sport down here. Like, what do you guys think that looks like if Stanley Cup, lives in South Florida for a year?
I believe, like I told you already, since they've been around, they have a very small but rowdy fan base. It's going to also obviously expand it more. A lot of bandwagoners are going to come on, which is fine. And to that's point, how you build it.
Right. But Florida is a snowbird state, right. Especially where their stadium or their arena is. There's a lot of transplants.
A lot of retirees that probably are just big hockey fans that have adopted the Florida Panthers as their team.
Right.
So it's just going to validate for them. They've been around this amount of time supporting the team. They're like, finally good to see this to fruition after 30 years. You're going to have new fans all over the place. It's going to be the hotbed. But once again, it's all coming at the same time that hockey itself is getting bigger and more popular. So it's just, we're, riding the wave.
It will continue to explode as we're a good market or a solid market.
And as long as you keep winning.
The Panthers compete. They're going to win next year. They'll compete again as well. So it just continues to bring hockey to the forefront.
If you have a good team and a good foundation, you can have a good run as a hockey, franchise. It can last a lot longer than most others because they sign hockey players, good contracts, and they're like 7-8 years. So you have a lot of cohesiveness.
We made some moves towards the tail end of the season.
The only thing I always notice
that they did a great job with.
They fire coaches very quickly.
Correct.
They don't mess around. 6 games into the season, we're doing bad, and we need some new voice. Coaches are very expendable. That's why you see a lot of these coaches are
especially with the expectations.
Yeah, but the players, if you have a good team, you should, and I think we're going to be good for the next few years, especially, the type of way we play the game.
Yeah, old saying, winning solves everything, right?
Usually.
Yeah, there it is. So it's going to be a fun couple weeks here with the Stanley Cup playoffs, with the finals, NBA championship going on as well. Yeah, that game's about to start. So look out. If you're listening now, it's going to be a fun few weeks for us on the show. We're going to leave it right there, and we'll be right back with some football news. Back for the second block of the pod. We go from hard court to ice now to the turf, right? We're going to start off with NCAA football. We have an interesting update in what the NCAA just approved. And it's, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. It may not have a huge effect now in the upcoming season, but long term, right, this has the potential to change the complexion of the game and where we see the athletes going, right? So NCAA just approved an 85 player roster limit, which is weird, right? If you really want to think about it, because now NIL, right, the free ability to transfer wherever you want, this would have been useful 30 years ago, 20 years ago. Not so sure how this plays into the current landscape of college athletics. Coach, thoughts?
Sir, it's a situation where, again, money will dictate the outcome and what's going on with the team. Who gets what? Who goes where? How much is going to be paid? I digress to what I said last week, and I continue to harp on. Things in the college football world need to become under grips. The money, the nils, all of that is going to throw college football into a situation where it'll be the haves and have-nots. Not every Power 5 team can compete at the same level. Your G5 teams will definitely not be able to compete at the same level. And what does that do for relegated positions? O-linemen, D-linemen, linebackers. Yeah, your quarterbacks are getting good money. Your receivers are going to get good money. So your running backs will be okay. DBs will be okay. But again, how are we compensating those guys? And what's the game going to turn into? What are the effects? That's my concern.
Okay, so just a little bit of clarity on the ruling, and maybe it was just my initial misunderstanding with it. I thought they were talking about like game day rosters, which is different from your total roster, right? But this limit is actually for your total roster.
Yes, correct.
Which, again, now knowing that is big time game changer, because you're talking about, you have Power 5 conferences that have 200 players technically on their roster.
Usually it's 120 guys that they keep on the roster, air quotes.
Correct.
Which again, now you're cutting that by almost 40 players.
Correct.
So there we are. How are things going to be done? There's a lot of things going on. I just think that there, sadly, as we said before, and we talked about it ad nauseum, the NCAA's inability to get ahead of things and put things into place and put the right safeguards that were needed at the time have put us in a position where college football may not be what we're used to over the last 50, 60 years of college football. I mean, it is that's how it looks.
So you see it across all levels of football, right?
Well, now in the state of Florida, we just approved a nil,
and that's a whole, and we can spend the whole show on that. That's ridiculous.
Let's not. Before I get fired, moving right along.
When our producer and I, when we played on the same high school team, sophomore year, 155 guys on the team. That was like there was dudes competing just to try to wear a jersey on game day.
Coach, with all due respect to you and our producer, you guys might have been able to get like a $20 deal at Burger King.
I don't even know what that means. We're going to move along, though.
I was just trying to say.
But nowadays, a large football varsity football roster
nobody has a large
is
football
40
roster.
or 50.
Right. Nobody has a large football roster anymore. And again, we're talking about nils and collectives at the high school level.
No, understood.
That makes it makes no sense.
My point is that the participation overall and we're not that old, right? From 15, 20 years ago, and the way that it has dwindled precipitously in the past 15 to 20 years. Again, multiple factors, right? The whole situation with health and CTE has played a factor, things of that nature.
I want to say that it's more the number of teams that have sprouted up over the last 15 to 20 years in schools has watered down how many kids go to the haves and have-nots.
That's also a factor.
Or the middle class football, whatever you want to call it. If it wasn't because we've got 125 new schools in Dade County, again, you could have rosters of 65, 70 kids in each school.
And to that point, right, the days of right, of when we played, right, where you take pride in building a program at a school that has academic expectations. You're not always going to get the top athletes, right? Those days are gone, right? Like you said, like you alluded to, it's the haves and the have-nots, right? And again, it's kind of starting to mirror what's happening at the college level, but it is completely blown out of proportion and exacerbated by, now we have the Florida legislation in control of the FHSAA. Right. So now the FHSA is just a sham organization because the ones who really approve what's going on is the legislative body. This NIL deal going on, which I don't understand how they think that that's a good idea. We're not talking about 18-year-olds. We're not talking about men.
We're just following suit. And again, as we talked about last week.
But understood. But these are 18 to 22-year-olds that are legal adults that can vote, that can sign their own name.
As we talked last week, the knowledge of getting money and making deals and having all of this at your fingertips does not mean that you have the wherewithal of how to spend it, where to go with it, what you're going to do with it, what's it going to do to you as a player.
And I agree.
And then in college, again, the college level, we're getting guys, I can't play this week. Just like in the NFL, I can't play. It's a trickle-down effect. Why? Because them not being able to play and them being hurts their financial status because they need to stay healthy to get to the next level. And the NFL is always the ultimate level.
Right.
So staying healthy and making that money that they're getting paid, I'm good.
Now, again, making sure, kind of clarifying the point earlier about the roster limits, understanding now that it is the total roster, I do think that's actually pretty smart, right? Especially with the way that the transfer portal is working right now. Because now it limits other teams, larger teams' ability to give NIL deals to players that are currently on other rosters, right? Like in my opinion, the whittling down of the roster size is going to assist in kind of calming down the whole NIL and transfer portal situation right now.
Disagree.
What is it? Matt Rule at Nebraska, he's like, middle of the road quarterback right now, and transfer portal costs you about $1.5 to $2 million.
That's what they cost you. But again, I think that what it will do is it will cheapen certain positions, and it will make other positions that much more expensive.
But Coach, that's always been the case with the sport maybe not financially. Now we're putting a price tag on it now, but there's always been more value, whether financial or whatever the case is, in a quarterback versus a guard. Now there's just a dollar tag on it now.
But again, my problem now is that in retrospect and in the past, kids were going to college. They might get gifts, air quotes again, gifts, while they're still getting a degree, education, etc. That's not what we're getting anymore. Now it's a monetary value per position. So, again, how much money do you have? Who do you spend it on?
Let's not veer too far from the point.
And
Because
it's not just football. And it's not just football.
Yeah,
it's every sport. Basketball.
But yeah, basketball is the next volleyball or basketball is the next one that's going to be affected by this.
Baseball. It's every sport will go through that.
So let's not. We had a spirited discussion about it last week. Let's kind of like stay to the specific effects of this roster ruling. How do you think that this is going to affect strategy, right? Ability, like how teams and coaching staffs build their program going forward, right?
Unless you have a salary.
You can't hoard 5 guys at a position anymore.
Why not? Unless I have a salary cap, I don't have a salary cap. I can hoard whoever I want.
Well, you
can sit on the bench. You're not going to sit on the bench and get $5 million?
You may have the financial ability, but now you don't have. Whereas before, right? Alabama's, Ohio State's, right? The way that it used to work before the whole NIL era and all that was you got 150 guys on the team, and all those dudes, that there was unlimited, technically, practice squad players, all that stuff, because people wanted to play for those sports or for those teams.
You don't think a practice squad will come out?
And it allowed them to have a position group, for example, running backs 5 deep. You're not going to be able to do that now.
You don't think the practice squads will come out sooner or later? I have guys that are not on the official roster.
Well, coach, but that's my point. They're not on the official roster. If they're not on the official roster, they can't get any NIL money. If they're not, listed, like what is, because of the whittling down, right, and the limit space, and you can't be on the roster, what incentive does a young running back or someone at another position, what incentive do they have to stay there and wait?
I only need 3 quarterbacks
to play.
I only need 3 quarterbacks.
I understand.
3 quarterbacks.
But again,
5 running backs. About 8, 9 linemen.
You can't hoard position players like you used to now.
But of course I can if I do my numbers right. It's all about doing your numbers right. I can pay you $2.5 million a season to sit right there till I need you.
Literally what this saying is they're trying to get rid of that. The days of Alabama having 6 deep in the running back room.
Why do you keep throwing Alabama out there?
Because Alabama.
There's other schools other than Alabama.
Because Alabama is the case study and it was famous for literally having 6 running backs deep, and then each one has 1 year starter and they get drafted in the first round. Like that's how they used to do it. Okay, but they can't do that anymore because now those guys are not locked in.
Now they
can transfer.
They can have 5.
Coach, come on. You built the roster. Now, I know you're just trying to play devil's advocate.
No, of course. If I have the money, I can keep 5, 4.
But it's not about the money. We're not talking about the money. Stop going to the money. We're talking about the roster limit. The topic is the roster limit.
But again, I can with 85 players, I can mold, I can build, I can figure out what I want more and less of. That doesn't. Again, the roster limits are not going to affect me with who and what I have or who I sign. It's what I do with money.
I am appalled that you're saying that, especially you, who's a former, that came up as an offensive line coach, and you know that is the position that is at a premium when it comes to position group and roster spots.
10 hog mollies, I'll be fine.
All right,
you give me 10 hog mollies that are 4 and 5 stars, Papa, we're in business. I'm good. I'm gonna be. Oh yeah, let's run the rock. Oh yeah, let's go. I got 10 hog mollies. I'm good.
All right.
75 more guys.
All right.
Again,
we're gonna switch.
We're gonna keep on
and
moving.
Now we're gonna talk about money where it's really made.
Where it's gonna continue to hurt everybody else.
NFL. This guy, like you would think that he's like a Marxist or something like that. The way that he talks.
Excuse me. No, sir.
For someone who has a deep belief in free market economy, you are going the exact opposite direction.
Because I know what salary caps do. I know what big money does to teams. I know what everything of that constitutes.
Are you a Vikings fan?
It's not about being a Vikings fan.
So you shouldn't care.
That guy's contract
Speak it to the mic, sir.
affects the whole NFL. Everybody.
If you haven't already noticed, we're alluding to the fact that Justin Jefferson just signed what is the most lucrative contract for a wide receiver in NFL history.
Mind you, after turning down $28 million last season.
And bet on himself.
And he lost. Because he could have gotten 28. He's getting 22, 25 now. He lost between $3 and $6 million.
I'm sure it got made up in the signing bonus.
I don't know. They were offering him a pretty penny. He bet on himself. He got hurt. And now they gave him less money. So again.
Still resets the market.
No, it does. It resets the market for receivers and for other players. Tua Tagovailoa. He is staunch in what he wants. He wants $50 million a year. He wants $50 million a year.
Yeah, he's not.
That will be minimum. Minimum will be $50 million a year. And that's my thing. My thing is everybody, and I get it. The salary cap has gone up. There's more money. There's I don't know how many billions from Prime, Hulu, Netflix, my mother's aunt, my grandfather. There's everybody's channel.
So to that point, right? With, going back to what the discussion that we had on previous episode, right? Talking about Jalen Waddle. Dolphins, very smart to do what they did.
Yes, sir.
Very, very smart to do what they did. Now,
correct.
Jalen Waddle's contract, it looks like, mid-tier NIL money, right? Compared to what Justin Jefferson got. Now, that's not to say that I don't think the Vikings were out of the, realm of logic on this too. I think it was a smart move for them to sign Justin Jefferson to his contract, especially now that they have McCarthy, right, as a first-year quarterback.
That's going to be great. I can't wait to see J.J. McCarthy throwing, or Sam Darnold. Those are two great premier quarterbacks throwing the ball to that guy.
Sir. Sam Darnold, sure. Talk all the crap you want to. McCarthy just won a national championship.
Running the ball.
Two. Give the guy
the ball.
Give the guy a
handing
chance.
it off. He was really good at handing off. He really was.
Good. He's one of the most efficient passers and highest rated passers in college football.
He passed the ball 16 times a game. Hit 12 of 16.
Okay.
I got it. Sounds good.
You're talking shit about the guy, and he hasn't even played a single freaking snap in the NFL yet.
I can't wait to see him throw to JJ. I want to see how really efficient he is in the NFL.
And listen, it wouldn't be that hard. If I got JJ on one side of me, I'm closing my eyes and tossing it up.
It'll make him a better footballer.
I hear you. He's no Dan Marino. Okay? Throwing to the Marx brothers. He's no Dan Marino.
Yeah, our producer's wigging out.
He doesn't have to be, though.
He doesn't. Thank you.
Why are we making him Dan Marino? That's
because you said slinging it to the guy down. Again, he's
going to be passing to one of the best receivers. That's going to elevate his game. I don't think he's that great of a quarterback either, but it doesn't hurt to have Justin Jefferson.
It never hurts.
The problem is, remember, yes, you don't like these people
spending
their money.
It never hurts to have Addison.
Ruin their team, but
never hurts to have Addison as well.
That's what they did. They spent it on the best player they have.
Correct.
What are you going to do?
What's the other option? Right? There is no better option.
It's only going to go up from here?
Correct. And again, going back to the logic behind the point, right? As the salary cap continues to increase,
salary cap.
Sure.
Crap. Okay.
It continues to increase by about 10% per year.
There you go.
They have to meet the minimum spending amount.
They must meet the minimum.
They have to.
They must.
They get penalized if they don't spend at least a minimum amount. I think now it's like at 195 or something like that.
Again, my concern comes in how you pay off the rest of the team.
But coach, they can do it now because they got a quarterback on a rookie deal. This is the time to do it.
Again, I get it. Not a problem.
You can't have it both ways. You bitch when they give the quarterback money.
No. I don't bitch.
And then,
No. Time out. I don't bitch when they give the quarterback money. I bitch when you break the bank at any time. Because when you break the bank, that hurts the rest of the team. And you got to play with 22 guys plus special teams.
I understand what you're saying. But the system is built.
As soon as you build one system over another, or one group of guys over another, then your DB's hurt, your D-line hurt. Something always hurts.
Understood. But the system is built to where you, at some point as an organization, will need to break the bank on one of your players or on one of your top players.
Maybe and maybe not.
You're looking, yes, you're building this picture of a perfect world where everybody's going to make the same money because we're a team. And the reality is that's not the case.
Okay, but
right?
hold on,
Quarterbacks are valued more.
Time out. The best quarterback in the NFL for almost 20 years took top 10 money and didn't break the bank.
Understood.
Okay.
That's one example.
Okay,
and yes, he's got
the best quarterback right now. Okay, didn't break the bank to get his signing money.
Oh, time out. That's a very, very big overgeneralized statement that you made there.
He didn't break the bank?
It wasn't breaking.
Don't start stuttering.
It wasn't breaking the bank per se because they spread it out over a 10-year contract and they front loaded it. And if you realize, they did dip right in these past couple years in terms of production because they couldn't, they let Tyreek Hill go. They did, and there were other adjustments that need to be made. Now they have more freedom because the front loaded portion of his contract has passed and now it is freed up.
They still signed a decent offensive line.
It just so happens that he's a freaking stud.
Okay, they signed a good offensive line. Okay, the defense, they worked on it to get it better, and they continue to put themselves in a position to be in the top 8 teams in the NFL.
And listen, what you're saying is not wrong.
Okay, you don't have to break the bank.
My point is that like it's. The system is structured to where eventually you will have to pay one of your top guys, whether it's a quarterback, a receiver, or whatever. But I don't have to break the bank. That is my point. I can pay you well. I can pay you handsomely without breaking the bank. The problem is that these guys break the bank and you screw over your team for the next 4 or 5 years. But
so you
again,
get nothing.
What you're advocating for is... Here you go, JJ. This is the offer. Take it or leave it. If you don't want to, go sign with somebody else.
Okay.
And you can't... You know of all people... Like, that's just not logical, right? Because if you're setting the market and these contracts are built upon the contract that comes before them, it's just... This is what happens, right? Like, Because the other option is... You don't sign JJ or Justin Jefferson... And
Addison becomes my number one, which was most of the season last year. Okay. It is what it is. I find my next receiver. Listen, there's no one guy that makes a team. I'm sorry. I don't give a crap what you tell me.
I'm not saying you have a flawed perspective, but what I'm saying is you're in the vast minority.
And I will continue to be. And again, the vast minority is the ones that win the NFL championship.
No, because everybody else is going to sign Justin Jefferson to the same contract.
And how many championships have they won? How many NFL championships has Minnesota won?
Coach, if you poll the 32 GMs in the NFL, every single one of them would have done the same thing. You can't.
I'll give you a 30%.
Oh my God!
I'm not gonna give you 100%. I'll give you a 30%. I'll give you a 30%. Let's move right along.
Grizz.
Nothing to say here.
Jesus Christ!
I've been in awe in the last few minutes of this.
Let's agree to disagree.
We're gonna take a break.
And let's wait to see how many games Justin Jefferson plays this week.
I need to get this guy a Coke or something.
Maybe you know what? Maybe I'm a little hurt that I had him on my fantasy league and he only played 6 games.
There you go. That's the way.
Maybe that's the problem.
Guys.
Maybe that's part of the issue that I can't see myself paying him that much money for missing 9 games last year with an abdominal strain. He had a tummy ache and couldn't play.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the core of the issue.
All right, let's pay him trillions of dollars. My bad.
And on that note,
we'll
be right back.
To the next one.
All right, we're back for this week's episode. We're going to close out the show with a couple little, we're going to start off this segment with an interesting topic.
Racism.
This guy just ripping off the band-aid.
Sorry.
We're back on the court as we're aware, right?
The Great White Hope.
Yeah, exactly. WNBA season.
Racista.
Jesus Christ. Now I know how these moderators feel on the ESPN shows. Where, as we're aware, right, WNBA has been getting a lot of coverage in this current season because of the star power that came up from the college ranks, right? Not just Caitlin Clark, who we're going to talk about now, but there are a lot of this newer generation players that are coming up that are bringing more star power to the game and giving it more publicity. However...
But why are they getting charter flights?
But hold on. But why
is the real reason that they're
Let me start out. And I'm only joking because I'm a firm believer that Caitlin is getting what she deserves.
Yeah.
Okay?
She should get a
She's
little
a
bump
rookie.
here and there.
She's going to get beat up. It's part of it is. Listen, in my time during basketball, when Michael, when Bert, when all the young guys got in, they got beat up. It is what it is. You got to earn your stripes. You have to earn your stripes.
But is there a little extra juice?
You know what? I don't know, but I'm not going to throw it on race because
I'm not thinking it's race either. I just think
if I am not one of those,
it's not race. It's jealousy.
It could be. That could be. But my problem is when you start throwing the race card, that drives me insane. I hate when the race card gets thrown the other way. So I definitely hate when the race card gets thrown this way. Either you are or you're not. Okay? Everything is not about race. The chick is a badass player. Okay? She's been good in college basketball for 2 years. She showed what she can do. And she's showing in the WNBA what she can do. Now, are they fouling her? Yeah, they are. Give them the flagrant. Give her the two. Give them the ball. Not a problem. But please, do not come out here and start crying about, oh, she's getting beat up because she's a white girl. Oh, the black girls don't like her. I don't want to hear that. It's not about racism.
Sure, if you want to have that conversation, fine. I don't even think it's that.
But that's being okay. But my problem is because it's getting thrown on both sides.
Because that is the low hanging fruit, right? That's what's gonna get clicks. That's what's gonna get listens, right? But I think it's just more simple than that altogether. I think you got
the black whatever the hell they're called throwing out there. Oh, it's because she's white, and then you have the white. Whatever the hell they're called. Oh, they don't like her because she's a white girl. She's a black girl. Again, it's a race card,
I think it's
which is ridiculous.
I think it's a very simple answer to this. Again, just my opinion. Maybe there is an undertone of that. Who knows? I just think that it's because she just came in with so much popularity that her getting roughed up is getting a lot more publicity.
It's part of the game
than other number one picks would because it's the game. She popularized the game.
But guess what? Now more people watch the games
than ever before.
What happened.
But that's what I'm saying.
That's what's happening. They're going to talk about this because more people are watching the game.
Correct.
So it's just coming with what the territory is. You're bringing in the people. They're watching it. Now we have something to talk about.
They're going to make a social commentary on what is occurring.
There wasn't this talk about the other number one picks getting roughed up over the last couple of years.
WNBA been alive and around?
96, I think.
Okay. It's 2024.
Almost 30 years, and this is where
I've never watched that crap.
Yeah.
I'm starting to watch a couple of stupid games just to see what happens.
And this might be the first year that they might turn a profit.
Honestly, I'm just saying, you get. So yes, number one, don't kill the goose that lays the golden eggs.
Yes.
Okay. And number two, it's not about race. It's just about the game. It is the game.
It's getting more. It's more popular. They're seeing it more. It's it's on TV. Whereas Maya Moore probably got roughed up too when she came in, but we didn't see it as much because it was on freaking local or TSN or whatever. Now these games are on ESPN. Now they're on ABC. That's the difference.
Right, you're getting notoriety because this girl's
the game changer, and once again, all attention is going to be good attention. This is going to end up being good too.
And there's money. Yes. And there's money.
Right. She's a millionaire off the court, whereas some of these chicks are making $50,000 or $60,000 a year.
Who knows? Maybe off season we have celebrity boxing matches that they want to do. Whatever it takes. You never know.
Mud wrestling? You said? Did you say mud wrestling?
I said celebrity boxing.
Jesus Christ.
I'm sorry. I thought you said mud. I'm sorry.
Incredible.
I can't hear very well. I don't have my headphones on today. My bad.
My God.
I thought he said mud wrestling. I thought that was like, wow, what a concept.
Anywho, right, to close out the point. That's incredible.
What, the mud wrestling? I thought so too. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't even know. We're just going to move on to UFC.
Talk about wrestling.
From getting roughed up on the court to
from mud wrestling to wrestling for real.
Yeah.
I like that. That was what an amazing segue. Wow, that might have been your best segue in the last 75 episodes.
This is just
I'm kind of impressed. That was good. Wow. And it came out naturally for you.
I'm beside myself.
To be honest with you, I'm like, wow, who is this guy? Nice job.
UFC 302 happened this weekend.
A snoozer.
Had a couple main events there. Yes, for the most part, it was a little bit of a snoozer, especially the co-main event. Very boring fight to the point where they were getting booed. However, the title fight at the end of the night, I do believe saved the day. It was a great fight. Listen, Dustin Poirier, man, that guy.
The diamond, baby, the diamond.
And the diamond is fitting. Like
he really is, and I feel bad for him that he's come up in such a difficult time and such a bad moment for him to be able to try to be a champion, because he really has fought some of the best champions that's ever been a part of the UFC.
I mean, Khabib, McGregor, Makhachev now, and then in between there, Gaethje and the other fight. It's like, and a lot of those fights, like I go back to the Gaethje fight. He was winning that fight, and it was one hitter quitter night.
He's a warrior. He's just a warrior. He doesn't mind. He doesn't care about meeting you in the middle of the ring. He will bring it on. He'll do what he's got to do. So again,
I mean, listen,
my heart goes out to him.
In the middle of the fight, broke his nose, snapped it back in from a headbutt, incidental. It wasn't intentional, and then tears his ACL, and still gets it to the 5th round. What a G! Now on the flip side, Islam Makhachev, that guy, he
showed his grit. He showed his mettle as well.
Elite ground game.
He fought. He did a great job wrestling. He's just a great student of Khabib. It shows you how good and how well Khabib knows the game.
It's what happens when you wrestle bears.
How he can coach his guys. He kept his cool, and he found the right timing in the right spot, and he ended the fight. Again, hats off to Makhachev. I think that he did an incredible job fighting against a warrior. Because it was a warrior.
Yeah. Warrior.
And it was 5 rounds of great UFC, MMA fighting. It really was. And like I said, it sucks that Poirier's 35 years old. We are now on the downside of his career. And
and if he wanted to come back again, now he's looking at ACL surgery.
Winning a championship is just not in his cards. For him to be able to get back, we're looking at 37. That's just on the other side of the peak.
Rough.
And it sucks because he is deserving. He really is. If there's someone that was deserving of a championship belt, not an interim, a real championship belt around his waist, is Diamond Dustin Poirier. Again, we go to the co-main event, Strickland against Costa. Costa doesn't let us down. He runs out of gas in the middle of the fight, then tries to make a fight at the end. Strickland is a very hard guy to fight against. His style, his technique, his kicking, he just keeps coming forward.
And I was just gonna say that, like, watching Strickland fight, and again, I don't ever want to be in an octagon. Those guys are
octagon. I don't want to be on the street.
Those guys are another level.
Anywhere.
But he looks, and for lack of so retarded, standing straight up in his stance, and just straight at you. Like a Sims character.
Yeah. And his feet. And he pumps his legs. And the kick. So again, I get it. He is a tough guy to fight. But Costa has to understand, the only way he can fight is knock me out or I knock you out. We're going to meet in the middle of the ring, and I'm going to F you up or you're going to F me up. That's it.
But the thing is, Coach, with that, he's already known, that's his MO, that he runs out of gas. And to that point, you're a professional fighter, right? At some point, you have to realize, maybe I should condition more.
But it doesn't matter. Okay, the problem is that his muscle, and his body does not allow for that enough cardio for 5 rounds. It can't. If you see him, bro, he's ripped.
He's yacked.
He is ripped. He is fit, ready to rock and roll. And when you have that much muscle density, cardio, it always has been, becomes an issue in fights. It always is.
And I get it. To that point, yes, you're correct in all forms, but again, professional fighter, you have the resources to fix that.
Coach, sometimes you gotta listen. Sometimes
go down in weight.
Sometimes you gotta go. Sometimes you gotta do the Charles Atlas. Draw the line in the sand.
Go what you got.
And say, hey, bro, let's go.
Yeah.
We're going to finish this in the first 3 rounds or we're not. Okay? Either you're going to get me or I'm going to get you. But let's go. Because that's how his style of fighting is. Okay? Romero was the same way. There's certain guys that can't go past 3. They just can't. Once they go past 3 drains them. 4, they're able to get their air, their second wind in the 5th, but it's too late by then. So they got to make things happen. Paulo Costa is one of those guys. Okay? And, sadly, it's just one of those fights. I apologize for the Dawson Solecki fight. Solecki was plus 360. That's the only reason I gave him out, because he was a nice situation as far as value was concerned. Dawson showed out. He did a great job wrestling. Stepped up. I like him going forward. I think he's going to be a solid guy. It all depends, again, on price. It's always about price. I refuse to lay down 600, 300. It's not happening. It's not in my wheelhouse.
No, sir.
It's never going to happen.
Speaking of laying down money,
yes, sir.
You have an announcement to make.
Yeah, the deep dive. We're gonna come back and revisit the deep dive next week. We're gonna recap a couple of plays we gave out a few weeks ago.
Back by popular demand.
We've got a few weeks going into week 1 of the NFL that we like, and we're also gonna, after that, look towards some NCAA week 1 plays. I know it's early. I know there's some worries about guys getting hurt in preseason, but the teams we're gonna look at, I think, are good buys at this time, and the guys should be at full tilt for week 1.
Your degenerate tendencies don't know.
Sir, I can't hide from them. Can't hide from them. It's always a gamble. Everything's a gamble.
Hey, baby. Grizz, you've been very pensive.
I mean, I'm not going to lie, guys. You guys got the MMA down packed. I love it. But I'm so annoyed right now watching the NBA Finals.
Speaking of laying down money.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we're at. We're at the season of why are the wrong guys shooting shots when they shouldn't? But here we are. This is why.
Those props always get you. Those props always get you, kids.
Listen, this is why kids do listen to the deep dive. Listen to your man, Gil. He knows parlays are the devil. They are the worst. But at the same time, they're amazing if they hit. We need a lot of threes.
When was the last time you hit a parlay?
Oh,
they always give you one.
Sir.
They always give you one to keep you going.
They hand them out.
They give you one.
They hand them out.
And then they hold you.
They hand them out.
They give you the diet again of starvation for 6 weeks, and then they give you another one to just you see, I can do it. I can do it.
It's like a classic second date in high school. Just enough to get you
keep
back.
You coming back.
But then you're ruined forever.
Just a touch. Just the right feel on that knee. I understand.
Jesus.
It's not good. It's not good.
On that note, gentlemen, I think that does it for us today. Phenomenal episode. It's been a good one. Looking forward to continuing the momentum that we have. We got the deep dive coming back next week. That's always one of the more fun and listened to segments of the pod. Again, like we always ask, send us your feedback, right? You can send us a text via the link in the show description. Use that. We would love the feedback. Troll us, mess around with us, send questions. You guys want to jump on the show for a little guest segment? More than welcome. Reach out. Okay. We're at that point now where we're hitting our stride once again where we were before. It's fun. The summer's going to be fun. We got a lot of things brewing.
A few interviews lined up for the summer, for college football, so to make sure that we can get things going in the right direction.
There it is. With that said, again, always follow us on Facebook and Instagram at 2coaches1grizz. Listen, man, looking forward to it. Build that following. Be loyal. Shout out to our listeners in Bulgaria, Romania, Singapore.
Wow, that's pretty far away.
My Germans, Dankeschön.
Dankeschön.
All around the world, baby. We worldwide. Let's make it.
Thank you for our listeners here in Miami, too. Don't forget them.
Don't forget the locals.
Let's increase that listening density.
Hey, baby.
Share, follow, smash that download button. Okay, share it with your friends, even if it's for just one section or a segment, right? We would love the feedback. We want to please you guys. Gentlemen, doing all right? Yes. And then before we sign off, we would like to thank our sponsors, Prodigy Athletic Gear, Prodigy Coaches, Clear Comfort Apparel. That's what these are the individuals behind making the show happen on a weekly basis. Gentlemen, 2 coaches, 1 Grizz. Out.